Hey, look, another video. Today well, over the past few days, or the past week or so, I've finished up looking through the entire Triumph stamp album that I have. So, I have this sheet here. From this point on, this is all stuff that I haven't shown before. So there's like 10 countries or 20 countries here, somewhere around there. I'm just gonna try to go through them quickly, and then I'll give a summary of the whole book at the end. So I have bookmarks inserted into every country that I haven't yet covered. The first one being Hong Kong. Most of these are from around the turn of the century, so I think these are from like the 1880s through around 1910. Nothing spectacular here. I don't think there's any special varieties that I don't know. That's not even one that I have. Next we have India. Ignore these stamps here. These are ones that I've found after the fact that weren't in the book initially. The India stamps I have here are actually very old. I have several stamps at the top here which are from very early in the postage stamp history. I believe these are from the late 1850s through the 1860s, and as you go down it jumps pretty quickly up into the 1900s. However, we do have a lot of early Victorian stamps in the India section. Just an interesting one here. There's an overprinted one. There's a few like that. Also, along the lines of overprinted, some of these have the overprinting service or on HMS, which I assume to be Her Majesty's Service or something. I don't actually know what that means, but they have their own category. Oh, also this is like, I think that this had something to do with the army. But yeah, a bunch of various stamps from India. If I'm not mistaken, there's something after this. Oh, these are just the Indian states. I found stamps here. Okay. Next section, the Irish Free States, which is really just Ireland nowadays. This is, I guess, when the Ireland only split from the British Empire in 1922, and you have these interesting overprinted British stamps at first. These are all from the early 1920s. Not a lot of variety here. Next we have New South Wales. This is an old part of Australia. These are a couple stamps that I found later. However, these are all from like right around the turn of the century. I think these are 1898, these are like 1905 or 1912, something like that. Here we have New Zealand. These are I think this one is the most valuable stamp of this entire book because this is imperforated. It has the dark brown ink. This has a catalog value of $400 something, and that's because it was basically the first stamp printed in New Zealand, which is really cool. Or I think this is the second version. There's two different colors of ink. The other one's more valuable, I think. Can't quite remember. But yeah, you have this sixpence at the top, which is pretty neat. And then you have a lot of different various pictures. It's interesting that I only have one of these because they used this design for quite a while, but I actually only have the earliest one, which is from the 1850s sometime. Let me see here. What did I mark that as? It's out at the bottom. 1858 through 59. Yeah, 446. Did I say 600? It's 400. Anyways, I think these are all up till around 1900, as usual. So these would be the early 1930s. Oh yeah, something interesting here. These two stamps, you'll see they have a different sort of printing. This one is much coarser. However, there's no online record of there being two different distinct varieties of this stamp. So I think maybe one of them's counterfeit or something. It's kind of weird, but like this one's, you can see there's a lot less detail in the hair and stuff. So that's just a weird find there. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Let's go to the next section, which is Nigeria. We also have North and South Nigeria. I guess I found this later. No, wait, this is actually belongs over here. 1 shilling, 3 pence. Just a bunch of sets from what is this, mid-1900s to, or like 1900 to 1950, something like that. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Northern Nigeria. So I guess this is what it was before. It was one Nigeria. And here we have Queensland, which is another part of Australia. This is also a pretty old stamp. I think it's from the 1860s. But yeah, another interesting part of Australia. I think I have some stamps from every single part of Australia, and I guess eventually they combine into one. Sarawak, one stamp. This is in Malaysia somewhere. I think it's, what is this from? I know I have it. 1918. I think this is a local leader or something. South Australia, another part of Australia. There's like 5 different parts that I have here. I think these are all from around 1870 or 1880. Just 4 stamps there. Straits Settlements, these are in Malaysia, or around Malaysia. This is something that I've found before, but outside of the book. And these are all pretty old. I think these are from 1890 through 1912, or 1920 something. Tasmania, just 4 stamps here, also a part of Australia. They're all from the same series, which is like 1907 or 1908 or something like that. Togo, here's an interesting one. There's a bunch of unused stamps in here. This is from the Anglo-French occupation, well, except for this one. This one's German. It was initially German. It's funny, you can see this one's written in English. English comes first. This one's written in French. French comes first. Thought that was kind of funny. Anyways, these are all from like 1917, thereabouts. 14 maybe. Victoria, another province of Australia. Actually, I don't think province is the right word. Part of the Australian Commonwealth, maybe. Anyways, these are all from around, what was it? This one's interesting. It's like tiny and green, and it's a halfpence. For some reason, halfpence are always like a different shape from the normal stamps. Like usual, 1870s through 1900s. Western Australia, more Australian parts. Whoops, book's falling over. Or not falling over, like opening up. Again, all from, what is this, 1880s, 1890s. And finally, Zanzibar. I think this is somewhere in Africa. Just 3 stamps here from around 1910. I'm probably getting half of these dates wrong because I'm not even looking at the sheet, but that's what I remember them being. The majority of these stamps are from around there, so it's a pretty safe guess to say around there. Oh, hey, look, there's the serial number on this book, 814. But anyways, back to the sheet. So you can see all the sums and values of all the stamps that I've shown here. If you'd like to pause it, you can probably go back and figure out, these are all listed in order. And of the stamps that I've shown you here today, catalog value comes to $810, inflated 224 stamps. And then my sum for this entire book, Triumph Stamp Album, there were 489 stamps, coming out to $2,881.65 catalog value, which is, as I've said many times before, it's an exaggeration of the value. However, that I think it is pretty impressive that it comes out to so much. And overall, this is a really cool book. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got a lot of valuable stuff. It's got a lot of not valuable stuff, but they're all pretty interesting stamps for a variety of places. And after this, I'm going to go back to random bags from the book. And now I'll be able to actually put stuff in this without worrying that I don't know what's inside. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye.